This is my Amsterdam analysis. It called me stupid. This movie thinks both you and I are babies. It never trusts your ability to follow the story of the movie as an intelligent organism. Let's start by talking about the director of this film, David O. Russell. After the likes of Joy and American Hustle, the public image of David O. Russell has been torn to shreds, and even normies were kind of groaning coming into this film. Evident by the fact that in over a whole week of release, it made a whopping $11 million back on its $80 million production budget. O. Russell has ever only been known for one thing: stacked casts. I associate him with the likes of Adam McKay because they're both pretty subpar directors that mask their inadequacies behind a massive, unparalleled wall of talent that could make anyone drool. Even when the story and direction is massively underwhelming, it's hard not to be at least somewhat entertained because all of these A-list actors get to play off one another. And that's much the same case for this film. It's not a nauseating experience, beyond the last 10 or 15 minutes, which I'll come back to. But it's never good either. This wall of actors is a disguise to cover up the lack of talent David brings to the table, but so is the fact that the film is a comedy. This new approach that O. Russell brings to the table is one that makes sense with his identity. Presenting this film as a quirky comedy helps him write away any criticisms that may come his way. If someone laughs with the film, he'll accept it as his hard work that he earned. But if someone laughs at the film, he'll insist it's a comedy, so that's the point. Long gone is the overly serious tone of his other films, and I can't help but feel that this is damage control after his history. Amsterdam constantly insists on its own self-importance and entertainment value, but the story does not back that up. The runtime for this film is over 2 hours, but there's hardly any plot to justify that. The actual thrust of the story is very simple. 3 friends witness a murder and become suspects. They run from the police and start following clues to find out why the murder took place, which leads them to discovering one of the most outrageous plots in North American history. My friend, who I went to go see the movie with in the cinemas, fell asleep during the movie for about 10 minutes, and when he woke up, he asked what he had missed, and I told him absolutely nothing. A simple plot is not a problem when well executed, but this film follows one of the most simple plots I can imagine and then relays the same information over and over and over. When an important piece of exposition is delivered, usually the following scene is one of the characters relaying that exposition to a different set of characters. You should be building a sense of context for why this information needs to be organically delivered to the characters. They must need that information. Then, when they get the information and the audience understands it, you don't need to review it over and over with every other character. Ultimately, the process of exposition delivery is for the audience to track with the story and to funnel character motivations. If you write your story well, there is no reason you need to be repeating yourself. It just causes so much wasted time. This is why when my friend fell asleep, he didn't miss anything, and I mean that 100% seriously. I'm not even making a joke. He already understood what happened in the scenes he hadn't even seen yet because they just do the same things over and over. It wasn't even the worst thing until the end of the film. These abhorred last 15 minutes of the movie painstakingly take you through the entire film that you've just watched to make sure that you connected all the dots. It holds your hand through the entire exposition with flashbacks and voiceover, but it's not even like the plot was hard to track with in the first place. I think Amsterdam is a good lesson in how not to write stories. It throws any nuance or skillful writing deep into the trash can in the name of talking down to you at all times. You should always respect your audience's intelligence. Setting up clues and themes and then paying them off will cause immense satisfaction for the audience, but it's infuriating to be disrespected like this. I was legitimately insulted by how this film was treating me by the end of it. I already have a video up on how to write dialogue, and that's a great place to start if you want practical applications on how to build context and organic progression into your story through the use of dialogue. There are a lot of words in Amsterdam, a lot of words, but almost none of them are in service of a well-told story. This is just a very manipulative film too. All emotion and meaning is gleaned, in quotes, through them telling it to your face while blaring obvious, unearned emotional music. It's the same trick that every other bad director uses, which usually gets normies, but for some reason, literally everyone sees through David O. Russell. I wish that everyone just recognized this type of manipulation in all these other movies that exist, but at least the veil of O. Russell has been torn down. Most of O. Russell's artistic decisions are based off earning Oscar nominations, and treating your audience like little babies certainly falls in line with that, proven by the fact that Green Book and Coda were two of the recent Best Picture winners. It's just actually embarrassing. This movie is just such a farce to me. O. Russell has been accused of sexual misconduct on the set of his previous films, and his last few were mostly disliked. This movie holds a lighter tone and constantly pushes the message of the importance of love and kindness and patriotism. Obviously, I can't prove this, and I'm not even claiming anything necessarily, but it sure looks to me like what he's doing here is trying to get everyone on his good side again, because he probably just wants to do some naughty things on the set of his next movie. That's just the reality. Alright, that's enough about this stupid movie. Don't bother with it, it'll probably win some Oscars. If you enjoyed the video or found it informative, give it a like and subscribe for more screenwriting content. If you thought the video could have been better though, leave it a thumbs down so I know to do better next time, and then go to the comment section and tell me what I could have done better. Thanks guys, I'll see you later.